must not judge between two persons while he is in angry mood. Right? We finished this? I think we finished this, right? Yeah, with Judge Ethics. 703, yes. Is it from the beginning, Samsood?
Yes.
The beginning, huh? Right. It said, it is deemed prohibited for the judge to decide cases when being in a state of great anger. When state of great anger. This is due to the hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ said, a judge must not judge between two persons while he is in an angry mood. While he is in an angry mood. Why? Because the person when he is angry, he will not be able to make the right decision, the right judgment. This is why it's not anger that means something which affects the mind and the reason of man. And many of us, this is the nature of man. Sometimes maybe we say some words, maybe we do some things, some acts, and then when we are angry and when we come back we regret what we said or what we did. Right. If this relates to rights of others, right, this is the judge. Now there is a dispute between two people. It's a matter of rights. To give the rights to the one who has this right, and he's an angry. How can he verify evidences? How can he make the right judgment? So this is why it is not correct. And this is why the brothers, when we say this, don't say this, well, it's not relates to me, this is for judge. No, this in fact relates to every one of us. Because as I said, I mentioned before, every one of us in certain time or certain position, he may be judge. You may judge between your children, right? Between your neighbors, between people who ask you for advice, between your students. So this is the point. This is why we need to learn this ethics and keep it in mind when we judge between people. That is because anger affects both the judge's mind and heart, and thus blocks his sound comprehension and wise consideration. Likewise, every matter that may affect the judge's temperament for the worse, such as hunger, thirst, anxiety, boredom, sleepiness, retention of urine or stool, or when the weather is irritatingly hot or cold, has the same ruling applied to anger. That means anything which affects our concentration, we should stay away. Even in our salah. Subhanallah, this is in salah. Why? It's tell you, إذا حضر العشاء والعشاء فقدموا العشاء. If it was time for Isha, Salatul prayer, and then they presented the food, which one you should start? Some people know, Salah, this is the right of Allah. It said no, go and eat that. Why? Because if the food there and you smell and you are hungry, then we say, how can you concentrate? Allahu Akbar. And you are thinking about, what a nice smell, MashaAllah, what's nice food. Subhanallah. Right? The same thing if the person he needs the toilet, even he will miss 1 or 2 rak'ah. It's better for him to go and relieve himself and then come back and make wudu and pray. Not the opposite. Don't say, no, I want to cut the whole salah. How come because the salah and you just waiting for the imam to say salam, to run to the bathroom? See, this is fixed. So this is why, Mr. President, in every important matter in our life, we should get rid of anything which affects our concentration. Now, this is based on the fact that such must disturb and confuse the mind in a way that may prevent the judge from reaching a sound decision. Right. Further, it is prohibited for the judge to receive bribes. This is due to the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ narrated by Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, which he said, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ cursed the one who bribes and the one who takes bribes. But is this limit to judge? Is this ruling limit to judge only? For every Muslim, whatever your position, it is haram to take bribe to do something which is wrong. Any type bribes is haram, forbidden. And the one who helped also cursed. He said, no, I'm just mediator between the two parties. You are the devil. You are the one, who pushed both parties to take this. So this is why, bribe is not correct, especially for the judge. So when the judge or the ruler or anyone in authority, he corrupted by collecting money without right, by bribe, then who is the one who will get what they want? People with money. And poor people, even they have rights, they cannot give their rights. So this is the problem here. Right? Commented on this hadith, Imam al-Tirmidhi said, this is Hasan Sahih Hadith. Hadith Hasan Sahih. Right? This is a question for those brothers who attend hadith class. We've already studied this. What does it mean when he said Hadith Hasan Sahih? We studied this.
Trustworthy, but not.
Why he said Hadith Hasan Sahih?
It is not Sahih. It is not 100% Sahih.
Right? What else? You need to go back to our previous lessons, and Brother Ibrahim, he posted in the group. Go back and review what we studied, especially those who came late, who didn't attend the first lesson. We said الحديث هناك حديث صحيح وحديث حسن. الحديث الصحيح هو الحديث. What's the definition of حديث صحيح? Transmitted by trustworthy, with good memory, one after another. All of them in the chains, they are trustworthy and they have طيب. And the hadith al-sahih, which is less, and hadith al-hasan, which is less, it's better than da'if. That means either sahih and hasan lidati or lighayri. This is, we already discussed this. But when it comes hadith, they said hadith sahih, hasan sahih, that means it has more than one lines of narrators. Some of them are to the level of sahih, and some of them the level of hasan. So it said hadith hasan sahih. So from different angles it says hasan sahih, which is more stronger here. Right. In this regard, bribes are of two kinds. A bribe taken from one of the two litigants to order to decide in his favor. This is one type. That he got money, so the judge will give him what he wants, even if it was not his right. A bribe given to the judge who abstains from judging in favor in the rightful person until the bribes him. This is one of the greatest acts of injustice. Sometimes the one who has the right, that his right is clear. He just is waiting for the judge to take the decision, and the judge is abstained. Said, okay, I will not give my decision till you give something. Or he at least every time he postpone. And he may not come directly. So what do? You go around, try to get your right. And it's not only, as I said, in the court, but this in any office, in any type of work. You want to get your right. And then you discover that this person, he's, playing, he doesn't want to give the decision or finish your file just because he's waiting for something. So, and this is the worst. Why? Because that means he forced people to get their rights by what? By paying something even they don't want to pay. And this is right. In addition, it is prohibited for a judge to accept gifts from those who did not use to give them gifts before he became judge. Gifts still not only for judge, also for public officials or persons in company. Be careful. If you are working in a company, and there are some people who have some interest to deal with this company, business, it's not allowed to get gifts from those people. Like sometimes, give you an example, some those who are selling medicine, they go around for some doctors, physicians, and they telling this is good medicine, this about this. It's okay, no problem for marketing your medicine. But the problem if you give him quantity, and then he will benefit from this quantity of medicine for his personal use, then it will become what? It's not right. Why? Say, no, but I khaf Allah, astaghfirullah. I just give it for some of the needy. It's okay. But this is the heart. And you cannot have control in your heart. These guys, they said in the Arab, they have a proverb. يقول لك أعطي اليد تخجل تستحي العين. That means if somebody give you something, you will feel shy not to do what he wants. Today he give you something, next time he give you something. So one day he asks you, says, oh, this man, he always gives me gifts. He's very nice to me. And sometimes maybe the shaitan play with the person. This is why the one who is in his office, like some people in a working company, especially those who are signing contracts with the other parties, be careful. You are represented for your company to go and sign contracts with other parties. So if you take something from them, then if there is any deficit in their side, this person will may what? Close his eyes about it. So this is why pride is haram, it's forbidden. And so anyone who is in any position should not accept any gift. Like a teacher should not accept gifts from his students. Talk about schools where they give certificates, they give grades. Now just imagine, this kids every day, sometimes they give you some cakes, sometimes they give you some nice things. He said, I traveled to my country, I brought you this and this and this. And then at the end it's the final exam. And you look at his grade and he's only F. F, how can I give him F? This guy is very nice to me. SubhanAllah. And maybe we'll push him with some grade. So these things affect the heart, affect the mind. So the Muslim should be clear, he should stay away, abstain from these things. Thank you, Jazakallah khair. And it happened at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. One time he sent one to collect the zakah. So when he went, he collected the zakah. After he comes to the Prophet ﷺ, he said, this is the zakah of Prophet of Allah. And this is for me. People when they go to zakah, they give for some sheep, some cows, so they said, okay, this is what for you. And so I collect some. This is for me. Gift for him. The Prophet ﷺ was angry. He said, let one of you stay at the house, at the home of his father or his mother, and wait for people to give him. Will people give him? Nobody will give him. Well, why they gave him? Because of position. So this is the point here. Right. Because accepting this gift from someone who did not use to give the judge gifts before he became a judge and excused to decide in that person's favor. Right. Furthermore, it is detestable for the judge to sell or buy except through an agent who should not be known as judge agent. He is judge, but at the same time he has business. Right? When you know that, mashallah, your case with this judge, and then mashallah he has a business he's selling, and you go from there and buy, and then you have become what? Good customer for him. That means they are mixing in the interest. So the judge, when he judges, you think, this is my good customer. Subhanallah. And this is what they nowadays in modern system, they call it تعارض المصالح. تعارض المصالح, contradiction of interest. Even here in the system, there are some rules sometimes, and this is what you see now in some countries. When somebody becomes to a position, first of all he should declare whatever he has of assets, to know after he leaves this position, is it still the same or he gets benefit from his position. Right? The judge may not decide cases in which he is involved or cases involving any of those to whom his testimony cannot be accepted, such as his father, son, wife or enemy. Subhanallah. Look to the justice in Islam. Look to the justice in Islam. Where there is case, let's say for example fighting or crime, and it was related to the judge or any of his family, then you should not be part of this process, because as emotion it may be affected by this relation. Also, if there is testimony, let's say for example if the witness is his father, his father, and he was witness for one of the two parties, do you think he will reject the testimony of his father? Embarrassment. He will be in a situation that you would think, so it's better for him to what? To stay away from this case. So any case which is related to the judge or any of his relatives, then he should stay away, so he will not be affected by his and said enemy. Why? Because maybe the hatred will make him be unjust with the other party. Subhanallah. This is Quran. Subhanallah. I'm trying to recall the ayah which said ولا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم على ألا تعدلوا اعدلوا هو أقرب للتقوى. ولا يجرمنكم, don't let your hatred or enmity with some people that make you not just, but you should be just, that's more near for piety, for taqwa. Therefore, in any of such cases is a sign to whom he is referred to another judge. This is supported by the fact that Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anh referred the case of Ubay to Zayd ibn Thabit to decide, and Ali referred Iraqi man to Shuraih, judge in the case, and Uthman referred Talha to Jubair ibn Mut'im. So these, you see, even the Khulafa themselves, whenever there is anything which is related to them or to their relatives, they assign judge who is not far away. Now, it is desirable for the judge to first look into cases demanding summary decision, such as those of the imprisoned, minor, orphans, and lunatics, then the cases endowments and bequests that have no guardian. These certain cases that need special care and sometimes need what? Fast action, quick action. A person in a prison, Right? Now you have two cases. One case, a person, he is made, for example, a car accident and he is in the prison. Other case, that two people, they are fighting about one land. Now this land is there. You can solve this problem this month, next month, no problem. But for this man in the prison, every day for him is what? Like a year. Because he's in prison, he's in the jail. So this is considered as what? Urgent matter. Orphan. Bequest, for example, wasiyah. Wasiyah, a man died. And he wrote wasiyah. And his inheritors, they want to divide the wealth. How can they get the wealth? Their share. They cannot get their share till what? Till they give away or get out the share which was mentioned by their descent as wasiyah. Therefore the judge should apply or take this case first, and so on. So this is something which is right. With regard to decision made by the judge, they are not to be invalidated unless they are contradicting the ruling of the Quran or the Sunnah of the Prophet. If the judge took a decision which is correct, and then it could be reviewed by other judges, as we say, or more than judge, but nobody else can invalidate this decision except whom? Judge or court like him, not anybody like. Some people, they may say, well, come, sometimes the court ask about somebody to be imprisoned. For the judge, show the decision that this person, because he has the public interest, he should be put in prison. There are certain rights that was given to the ruler, to the king, to the president, to the one who authority, sometimes to waive these. This is what we call it public right. Why? Because he see maybe it's better for the welfare of the community, that it's okay, give them, release them, okay, give them another chance. But when it relates to the right of other individuals, no one has the right to waive it except whom? That individuals or his family. In a case like, for example, a killing. And this is why I remember a few months ago, one of the members of the royal family here was executed. Even they try their best, they give, the father of the victim money and everything. He said, I don't want money. I want the care of my son to go down same as I lost my son. For 3 years, and then nobody stopped this. So, and he was executed. And this to show you the wisdom and the justice of the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right. If the judge does so, his decisions are not to be implemented. Right? Or deceived consistent Muslim. That means, if the judgment was not go along or derived from or based on the Sharia, the Quran or the Sunnah or the Ijma' of the Ummah, then it cannot be accepted. Because here we are not talking about personal view. We talk about judgment based on the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But in the light of this brief presentation of the ethics of the judge, the justice of the judiciary in Islam becomes evident. In other words, judges in Islam assume high rank that cannot be reached through all the worldly law system, through the word of Allah, in which He said the meaning. Then it is the judgment of the time ignorance they desire, but who is better than Allah in judgment for people who are certain in faith. And here we finish this chapter, and inshallah next week we'll talk chapter 3, which is method of undertaking judgment. Jazakumullah khair. Any question?
May Allah disgrace those who turn away from the divine.
None?
Two paragraphs.
Okay. Dua. Here's your question.
Yeah. I have a question.
Okay. Will you raise your voice, please?
Yeah, my first question is,
I understood the person who is taking the money,
Yes.
but in a service, when people, the person in charge of that particular issue, you have a need, for example, you need certain things to be accomplished, something this person is paid to do anyway, that he will not do until you give him something.
You see, here we talk about if this for service, like for example an agent, and you give this money for the service of this person for his time, okay, for like allowance to help, just to take care of this, like mediator or agent, then it's okay. But to give it to them and knowing that the other party will take this money as bribe, then it's not allowed.
There's certain countries,
No.
that is very common. You will not be able to get nothing unless you pay.
This, an area of differences. Some of the ulama say, some, and then maybe can you send me this for me? So I want to look for different views about regarding this. The question here. It's better.
This is like I give example. Kenya.
Yes.
My children are in boarding school, boarding school, but they need residency. By the law, they're entitled. They require they have to be, they're foreign, they have to be in boarding school. And then you pay the money fee, you get the residence. But the people who are immigration officers, they will never give you nothing. They put your document there.
They forget it till you pay them.
If you give them money, forget it. You're not gonna get your document back. There is no place for you to go to complain.
The question is,
You just either have to give or you just have to leave them. Forget what you are there to do.
okay, this question, inshallah, it will post it in the group and try to go to different views, because this is an area of differences among ulama. I read this before. Okay, there's difference between ulama. Some of them, they are fair. Okay, that they said Allah may replace for you better than this. Other they said if it is your right, like for example, you have a child who was born, okay, and then you cannot give him a birth certificate, which is very important, necessary for him, unless you pay for this money for it. Is it allowed or not? This is the point here. Inshallah we'll discuss it. So you got the question, is it allowed to give a bribe to get the individual's rights here? Yes.
I have one question.
You have two questions.
Yeah, the second question is a kind of a comment. A few years ago, I was listening to BBC,
Yes.
which did documentary.
Yeah.
The documentary was on Islamic scholars who give fatwa to Muslim financial institutions. So in the story, they said the Muslim scholars who give a fatwa to Islamic institution, financial institution like banks, he said they are number one consultant or the highly paid in the world. In most of the time, those scholars are being paid by the institution that gave the fatwa. So I think it's in Emirates. He met one of the sheikh, I forget his name. He's very famous. He's almost like everywhere on the fatwa. He asked him, isn't this conflict of interest? You are being paid by an institution, you're giving fatwa. He said, the response was, the sheikhs also have a family.
Anyway, first of all, you talk about the source. The source is what? BBC. Don't take anything from BBC.
This is live news.
Okay, even my dear brothers, they know, even they don't believe it, even they say documentary. Why? Because what they do, anybody can do it. They can take, for example, make interview, then they can modify it, edit it, in a way, they cut and paste, connect words, which give you different meaning. Okay? Truly, this is what they do. Now these days, even some scholars now, you remember, even Sheikh Abu Mus'ab, he put posts. There are some people, what they are doing, they come to your speech, your khutbah, your dars, or your interview. They choose certain words, okay, and they try to rephrase your words, to give certain pressure. I'm not saying that it is wrong, this is correct or not, but always, my dear brothers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا. And no question that BBC is fast, no problem, no question about this. Yes, BBC what this, most of their reports, even these days, when they make reports about Saudi Arabia, about the Muslim Sunnah, all their reports is in the side of the Shia and what's going on against them. Many of them. So we cannot trust them. But we look at it another way. Okay. Those Sheikh who are there, we look at these people. Like for example, some of them like Al-Imam bin Minay, Sheikh bin Minay, Sheikh Abdullah al-Mutlaq. Those are of in the High Council here in the kingdom. And you can expect that in this country. They will put those of high, Sheikh, and they are not in need for money, by the way, because at the same time, they are getting, mashallah, good paid. So they are not in need for money. You say poor or needy, they want to give this fatwa. But is there could be some mistakes in the process? Now, what's the rule of the Sheikh? The rule of the Sheikh, he's consultant, right or not? The bank comes to them and said, look, Sheikh, we are doing like this. Steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Sheikh look at this steps, verify it, according to the Sharia, it's look what? Okay. So we approve it. Right. Does this really apply or not? This is different issue. I cannot blame the Sheikh. That's my point. Like for example, now there's some banks, now you come, they said, they come to the Sheikh, they said, look, we don't make riba. So what we do, he said, a customer come to us and he buy from me this product. Buy it, for example, for 10,000. Right? And then he sell it, or he give me like authority to sell it for him. So he will get it, for example, or the opposite. So you'll find there are some differences. Now when you look at this steps, it looks okay. But do they do it? Now when you go to the bank, they said, okay, we, in paper, maybe you notice this, in paper, sign, that you bought from us some cement, or some wood, or,
They do it in SMS.
or any of this, you sign, okay, and then sign this paper, okay, now it's yours. What is it? It's another story, but we transfer it to you. And then, okay, give us this paper to sell it. And then they give you the money. Right? Some they are very clear. For example, I'm not trying to make, what they call it, advertising for some banks. But I deal with one bank, because I went to one and I didn't like their way. Just papers. Other bank, they said, go and look to the car that you want. I choose this car. Right? They said, okay, we'll buy this car. When we have it, when we own it, if you still are interested, then in this case they don't force you. If they force you, or they told you, we'll buy it and then you'll buy it from us, that means you bought it before it's come there. They said, okay, you go to the company and you say, choose this car, they will send the certificate of this car to the bank. The bank pays the money. Now the money where, the car owned by whom?
Bank.
By the bank. Now that's okay. Now it's so what? the point is very short. We can't blame this sheikhs. And also we should be aware of this publicity they are doing. You know, they try to talk about the ulama, about the dua, about Muslim in general in negative way. They try to look for some errors, some mistakes, some just to why. Now, my brothers, the war against Islam now very clear in all levels, and the level in this stage is to destroy the image of people knowledge, of dua, ulama, of people who have good influence, destroy their image. So people when they come, take from this sheikh, sheikh, so you know what the BBC said about, you know what this and this, take from this also. So people, they will not find anybody they trust unless somebody who will say and do and give fatwa with something which is please those who don't want the Muslims to learn the right, deen. Clear? Now, Sheikh Ali, sorry.
No, my question is as we know that this is related to giving gifts.
Yes.
For example, if the parents will give food during the graduation as a way of gift, if we are actually in the graduation, is that part of something like right? Or
is it for the teacher or for the group?
for the graduation?
For graduation. This is like sharing. No, it's not here. Because here you are sharing, let everybody share in this program. So it's not for personal interest. The pride when it's for personal. The pride when if you didn't get this, you will not do the service. You see, a child, for example, a father, he came, he brought his child. Okay, you expect him to give you something. If he didn't, his child will not be in the school. Other one, he came and he gave you a gift. Say, okay, welcome. This is the yes.
The distinction or the gray line between bribe and gift.
Yes.
Sometimes the supplier or the vendor is giving you a gift, and they said it's a gift. Now, when can you say no? Because they are good for you.
As I said, if this will affect, these companies, for example, like representative companies, they go.
Purchasing department.
Now,
The purchasing
that person is part. You are to buy from different places, right? These people in this company, they know that you are the one who has the decision, that you will sign the contract. So, mashallah, they are very nice with you. Ask yourself, if you are not in their position, for example, if you left, are they going to send you this gift? They will not. This is why the Sheikh said here, if it was not used, if somebody that before you get this position, right, he used to send you this certain gift every, so you know that the motive is because of personal relationship, not because of the position. Right? جزاكم الله خير. بارك الله فيكم. Thank you very much.